Okay, guys, I just want to say that, like, just yesterday, I was one of you, like, viewers, like, watching the show, and now I am on the show, so dreams actually do come. You might have to turn the volume down on this one, because we are notoriously loud.
مرحبا جميعا you guys. There's another chair next to me لأنه I have a very special guest today. I think هيدي أكتر مرة بتحمس على guest. أهلا وسهلا بكارولين كساب. Guys, اليوم على هيدي الحلقة رح نحكي عن physical health versus mental health. So Caroline and I grew up together, and her whole life she was into fitness. You know, I know that picture in your house of you and your parents in the basketball court. The basketball court doing this, and I was like, wow, they're all so hot ever since they were kids. And in my mind, it's like the only time anyone's ever told me to work on myself or work on my fitness was because yeah, I'm عرس next week. Yeah, you have to look better, slim down for the dress. So, okay, if fitness isn't just for, as you always say, the aesthetic, what is it for? Like, how do you break it down? Why should we teach people that fitness is much more than just the way you look?
I was lucky to grow up with a mom who actually is in the fitness industry. Growing up, my mom was like, oh, come with me to the gym, come with me to my class. And I'd be like, oh, I want to go to the mall with my friends. No.
Yeah.
But now looking back in hindsight, it was very much just the way my household went, you know. She not only told us the importance of exercise and eating well, but she showed us, like she was the example. But then I started to grow into my body as a woman, and I started to feel like, oh, maybe this is something I should try. Initially, I was going to look a certain way or focusing on aesthetics. And I think the mindset back then was very different. Social media wasn't that much of a thing. There wasn't this gym culture that there is now. So when we used to go, it was, especially as like an Arab woman, you would be like, oh, it's just to get on the treadmill and like burn calories.
Yeah, that's all I knew, by the way.
Yeah. My mom's body type is very different to mine. So the type of exercise that she did and she enjoyed and worked for her didn't really work for me. So I started to mimic what she was doing. She's this energizer bunny, cardio, yes, burning, smashing calories.
Crazy woman. Crazy strong woman.
The further I got into my own fitness journey, I started to realize, oh, actually, you know, I'm not much of a cardio bunny. I actually am much better naturally lifting weights or focusing on strength a little more. So,
which is what you've taught me as well. Like, I didn't understand, but this is what this episode specifically is about, that I didn't understand that there's something called focus on muscle building and there's something called burn fat. At all, I had no clue, and I didn't know how our food also contributes to either or, because you told me on my journey, because I don't know those who know, but I think you can tell from season 1 till this season I've drastically changed in terms of fitness, and this is one of my biggest reasons. But at the beginning it was, oh, I have to burn fat, I have to look a certain way, I have to become slimmer. But then at one point we spoke about it, and I was no longer, my metabolic rate wasn't increasing. I couldn't eat more, even though I was working out much more. And even when I was like pissed or tired or I didn't have any energy, I'd see you and you would still go. And then you told me something that I will never forget. You told me it's not about motivation, it's about discipline.
Every day kind of looks different, and I think generally attitudes towards fitness, I am hopeful that they are shifting. Yeah. We're focusing more on athletics rather than aesthetics, and that's the biggest shift. It's not just about how we look. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with wanting to look strong or wanting to look like you work out. You know, that's one of the great benefits of exercise. But when you make that your priority, and that's the only reason why you work out or why you eat a certain way, then you're setting yourself up for failure, because it's not going to be consistent. You're not going to see the results, sadly, sorry to tell you, but you're not going to see the results as fast as you would want them to. What is instant though is your feeling. The immediate results you feel are, the mood boosting. You've experienced all this. The mood boosting.
Jumping like a bunny after the workout.
Yeah. So when I think of wellness as a whole, when it comes to exercise, mental well-being, anything like that, you want to kind of think about it in 3 categories. So
hit me.
Number 1, physical, 2 is mental, and 3 is social. These are kind of just like the way I broke it down. The physical benefits that you get, let's start with the instant stuff. Sweat is great for our skin. Girls, you don't even need to buy the moisturizer. Just sweat. Just sweat every day, and it's free moisturizer.
I don't have a problem with that. Abadan. I would
you good in that department.
Great.
mood boosting. So honestly, like I cannot think of a time my clients said that they felt worse after a workout than
never
before. Unless you got injured in the workout or something. I don't know. Most of the time, and I think most people watching that probably have done a workout, you know, it's always hard to get yourself to the workout, but you always feel so good after.
I never ever regret.
And there's a literal scientific and hormonal reason for that, right? So your body releases endorphins when you work out, and after it gives you that mood boost. If you have a job that requires a lot of cognitive thinking, a lot of like, you know, and even like sitting, you know, the physical of getting your blood flowing and your body moving, which is what our bodies were made to do. Building strength is important for longevity as we age, and that is the biggest, most important thing, because we know there's no reversing age. You know, there's all the Botox in the world, but your body is your body and you only get one.
That's something that no one ever taught me. Like no one ever taught me, go to the gym and get strong, lose weight so that you can live longer, live stronger, be able to pick up your own luggage. This is something they completely disregarded. So look at how different that is, because you had that education, or you grew into it and you embraced it, you understood it. Whereas I was completely clueless until I was like 26.
But also the mental side, which will get us into the second category, is it helps you kind of turn off your brain. We're so, especially women, I think, like, you know, we're overthinkers, multitaskers, and that's not the way the brain was actually supposed to be. We're actually supposed to focus on one task at a time. You deserve to have a whether it's one time a day or however times a week, to just focus on you and your well-being, right? Yeah. We all lead such busy lives. This is your time, and shifting the mindset of thinking it's a blessing that you get to do this. It shouldn't be a punishment, right? And then the social aspect, which is the third, is you get to meet awesome people that you otherwise wouldn't, you know? Like, it doesn't matter what gym facility you go to, and you don't have to be best friends with your gym buddies. I'm just saying that, like, you get out there and you know, you see different people on their different fitness journeys. You get tips from people. You might meet somebody who becomes your great friend, or you might get inspired from somebody or motivated by somebody. What we kind of want to think about, especially as women, Arab women, is that I think the whole attitude towards exercise is like, oh, like weight loss, and you know, stay away from the weights because you don't want to get too bulky. And girls, I'm gonna bust this myth right now. Like, if you cannot get that bulky. Like, it's really hard to get bulky. It's not easy. Okay.
I'm not there.
When it comes to strength training, whether that's, you know, lifting weights, whether that's doing reformer Pilates, anything that you know, that's gonna help your body function better, longevity is the first and should be everyone's priority, in my opinion. I'm gonna say we're still young, that's fine, but like, I think that maybe most of the viewers are of a certain age bracket. So when you're younger, you don't really have to think about what happens when you age, because it's like, that's later's problem. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
But it's coming. It's on the way.
It's coming. And the thing is that, you know, if you start thinking about these things early on in life, you're setting yourself up for success later on. And when it comes to longevity, when it comes to building muscle, you have a window, not to scare you, use it or lose it. So you either use the muscle that you can grow naturally when you're young because of the growth hormone that your body naturally produces. Once your body hits menopause, for us women, your body no longer creates that growth hormone, or the growth hormone that it does create is on a decline. So it's much harder to build muscle. And what is muscle? It's not about, you know, looking good in a tank top. It is, but on top of that is more than that. Muscle is what protects your joints, protects your and determines your bone health. And
that's what PE should have been about.
It is. It's so true. And like,
we just had to run that sprint test. Every time it beeped, I would shit my pants.
Useless. I hated PE. I genuinely think that if I went to a school that actually prioritized exercise in a fun way, I would have gotten into fitness so much earlier in life. So you know what? I'm not gonna name our school because no shade, but shade.
Shade. I knew nothing. It was called physical education. It was called trauma for me. Whether it's the outfits.
Yeah, when you would fake having your period 4 times a month because you didn't want to do the swim.
Swimming, it was cold and it was ugh, and I had to be sticky and all.
Oh god, it was a disaster.
They didn't represent it in a nice way, and for an educational system that's supposed to make it not just fun but also teach us something. They didn't inform us anything of it. They just said go run. When it beeps, stop. When it comes, hit the ball when you want, and that's it. أبدا. And this all comes with the misinformation. قليلة قد ايه بتعصبي بس حدا يقول إنه هيدي خلفت بعدها ما ضعفت.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Like, that is just...
I am
No.
And it's most of the time
you know, as a matter of fact, you shouldn't comment on anyone's body, period. Whether they're pregnant, after they're pregnant, before, any time in anyone's life.
most of the time مش من المرأة للمرأة.
100%. The attitudes towards exercise and pregnancy kind of are evolving, but I don't think they're quite there yet. A pregnant woman is a boss, okay? She's not this fragile piece of glass that can't do anything. Unless your doctor says that, you know, you have some, like a medical reason, otherwise you are able to exercise. Now, obviously, I've never been pregnant, so like do your research. Don't take my word as gospel, but just do your research in the sense of sometimes there are these old school doctors that tell you, oh my god, you're pregnant, you know, just be on bed rest, and that is actually so harmful for you. The muscle that you do have is atrophying, which means that it's getting weaker as you go further in your pregnancy. So what happens after you give birth, and it's so much harder for you to feel your normal self again. Now, pregnancy isn't the time to achieve new fitness goals. So let's not go and be hitting PBs, okay? If you were active before pregnancy, you are 100% able to maintain that throughout. Again, unless you have a medical reason, check with your doctor. But maintaining that muscle mass is so important throughout the pregnancy to help you postpartum. And I really think exercise will help, is shifting your mindset to being like, oh, this is for me. My results are my own. This is my own hard work. I want to feel good. And if I feel good, it doesn't matter what anyone says. You know, it doesn't matter what the scale says. It doesn't matter what my aunt who's talking about my baby weight says.
Exactly, because most of the time it's from those closest to us.
Exactly, and honestly, if anything, I would say you should say something to that person. But
because it's a taboo. And what do we say to taboos?
Boo. Boo. Ahek taboo.
All right, you guys, did you? Wow. Did you like the episode? Did you like the energy? What do you think? Has anyone ever like weight shamed you?
Tell us. Add them, tag them. We will come.